Salam, brothers and sisters. We're talking about the Rastafari sabbatical reading, 40th one, which is talking about Balak and Balaam. I felt properly inspired to talk about it by the Holy Spirit. And the first thing which caught my attention was in Numbers 22:6, where it says, "Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessed is blessed, and he whom thou cursed is cursed." So what is shown here is that Balaam has a certain level of status, and Balak, the king of the Moabites, has sent him because he trusts that he is a worthy prophet that is worth his while to choose him. So when Balak sends people to Balaam, which is spoken about in verse 12, first Balaam says no, because that's what the Almighty tells him, but then it gives like a hint to Balaam's personality, because Balak after that sends people with more honor and then says that let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming to me. So that shows that Balak thinks that Balaam is basically a sellout, because he's sending people with more honor. So it's like he thinks that by showing people have more status, more riches, because when you go into the Hebrew, the word for honor is kavod, which means to be heavy, weighty, grievous, rich. So he's showing like evidence to say, if you do good for me, if you do my works, then you could be like these people, and if you want possibly more. But after that, Balaam says in verse 18, "And Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak, If Balak will give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more." And it says, "Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say to me more." So it's like Balaam now is kind of like double-minded, because due to circumstances he wants to ask God again what he should do. When he in verse 12 was told, God said to Balaam, in verse 12 he's already told what not to do. So, but also shows that he has a connection, a relationship with the Almighty, because he said he would speak to God, and in verse 20, "And God came to Balaam at night and said to him." So that's showing that it's not like he didn't expect it, he knew it was going to happen. That shows that level of relationship. So that shows that even if Balaam is false, which we know he's false by seeing his late actions, it shows that many people are not even on the level of Balaam, and also shows that many of the teachings of how to be a Christ type person is actually a Balaam doctrine. It's not the proper doctrine, and that's what made me realize that the reason why Balaam is not really spoken about and taught about, because it'll be a self-exposing sort of teaching. So now in verse 20 it said, "And God came to Balaam at night and said to him, If the men come to thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say to thee, that shalt thou do." So coming from like a carnal sort of mentality, you'll think that you're meant to go, because that's what the word is. But when I read the Schofield footnote, it said, "In the directive will of Jehovah is made known to Balaam Jehovah's permissive will. The prophet is now free to go, but knows the true mind of the Lord Yahweh about it. The matter is wholly one between Jehovah and his servant. The permission really constitutes a testing of Balaam. He chose the path of self-will and self-advantage, and Jehovah could not but gravely disapprove. The whole scene prepared Balaam for what was to follow." Footnote, it shows that Balaam was at a certain level where he should have known better, so he's getting judged by his he's getting judged for his selfishness, basically, because he's at a stage now where obedience is the main thing, because he's not ignorant, he knows better. So then after that, Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass donkey and went with the princes of Moab, and God's anger was kindled because he went, and the Lord and the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. So many people will be confused about that, because it seems like God's like saying two things at one time. So it is showing that even though Balaam knows what's to come to pass, because he has a certain level of connection with the Amlak, with the source, the reason why he's false is because he's still worldly. He still has that sort of carnal mindset. So the Moabites can reach him and sway his ideas and sway his actions and whatnot. That's why in the end, obviously, like, Balaam gets killed and whatnot. He goes into war with the Israelites, even though he knows the Israelites are blessed people. And before that, even though he's blessing them, because that's the word of the Almighty, he gives advice to Balak of how they can curse themselves.